What's going on, guys? We're back down here. Yay, we made it! The snow's gone.
Finally.
The roads are clear. Yeah, huzzah! We've yet to make it back up to the school, but that's because it lives up on the side of a mountain, and we're not going to push our luck. So, but anyway, we made it back down here. We had to finish getting the last little bit cleaned up, and we had so much fun the other day filming. We thought we'd just continue on with it.
Continue the saga.
Why not? So, I think the first video was entitled "Self-Defense Myths."
Scams.
Self-defense scams. As we opened up that Pandora's box, my mind starts racing, and I have a lot of things go back and forth in my head. And I want to tell a quick story. I can't help it. That's my job. I'm a professional storyteller by trade. I tell parables, that, of course, I didn't write the parables. I'm just quoting parables that I've read. But anyway, when I was young, junior high school, I guess, elementary school, that age range, for a short period of time, I rode the bus to school. And I had a friend of mine. He was on the bus. And if you're watching, you know who you are. Don't worry, I ain't gonna name names. But so my friend was getting into an argument with another fellow. I don't know what the argument was about. Don't care. Doesn't matter. And this was in the heyday. This would have been in the mid to late 80s. So the UFC and all that, it was brand new, if even around. So anyway, so these two guys start arguing. They jump up, they get in the aisle in the middle of the school bus, and they're, nose to nose, having at it. Me and my buddies, being the wonderful guys that we're sitting back, we're fixing to watch a show. Somebody's blood's fixing to fly.
Yeah.
We just get out the way, we're going to let it happen. True story. This fella, so you're my buddy, he jumps back like this. No, you're standing.
Oh, I'm standing.
Yeah, you're standing. He lets out this blood-curdling Bruce Lee, and kicked my buddy in the leg. My buddy, he looked down, he looked up, and he said, "Did you just..." And then the fight really commenced, and my buddy won the fight. That was a funny, y'all don't even know the grief that I gave my friend for years after that. Every time I'd get an opportunity, thought of it, I'd scream and come at him kicking. Why am I telling that? Because there was a video I watched not too long ago. You may have seen it, where this guy was calm, quiet, minding his own business, and this dude comes up wanting to start messing with him. Again, I don't know the circumstances or whatever, but the guy, he stepped back something like this. And when I saw that, I went, that dude's been trained.
Yes, that's
So he's like this, or however he was, and then all of a sudden the guy twitched, and his back leg spun around and caught the guy in the temple, and dude went to sleep. Just that quick. Just pow, and it was over. So why am I telling all these stories? It has been my experience, again, as a police officer, I've seen it. We'd get a call, there's a fight or whatever, and we'd have to show up and people fight. Just because you've seen it on UFC, don't assume you can do it.
That's exactly it. I've talked with when people, I'll watch you. You train it, buddy. I'm not saying this or that, but if that's what you got, I'm gonna beat you. Bad.
You're exactly. You have armchair quarterbacks that watch NFL, and they talk to the television like they're actually able to hear them.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you really think that you could play NFL football? No, surely to God you don't. Surely to God you don't. Just because you watch, we'll say, Conor McGregor, doesn't mean you can walk around like Conor.
I mean, you're no Conor, baby.
Conor was, just my humble opinion, top tier, one of the greats. He really should be in a Hall of Fame. And even at his level, he made that same leg kick and snapped his own shin.
Exactly.
If you don't have, these guys make it look easy because you're not seeing the thousands and thousands of hours they've spent kicking and punching and lifting weights and conditioning their bones and their muscles and their tendons to make it look easy. Same with any Olympic level sport, to make it look easy. And I see so many guys that legitimately think, well, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I can do that.
I watched the YouTube video. I watched Kung Fu. I watched Enter the Dragon once.
Right. It goes back to what I talked about in the first one we did about a false sense of security.
Yeah.
If you've never, well, we're gonna be pissing some people off, but it is what it is. I cannot tell you.
Throw it down.
It done made me mad. I done got beside myself. I cannot tell you how many hours, I would say conservatively hundreds of hours over my life, because I've been doing this since I was 13, with a stick.
Oh yeah.
Raking
Oh yeah.
my shins. Why do you do that? To condition them.
Mm-hmm.
Taking my shin bones and making contact with hard objects. Now, I wasn't kicking concrete walls or anything, but you take a 100, 150 pound punching bag and you shin kick it with everything you've got. That's a hard thing to kick. That's a lot of impact. I've spent a lot of time conditioning my shins, and he has as well. And when I used to teach kids, he didn't. They used to hate because we'd be squared off, and they would come and try to do a leg kick, and all I would do is that, and they would kick my shin. Now, you're dealing with teenagers, but they hated it because they used to say my shin bones were like axes, and it's because of all of that. Even with that, I'm not comfortable doing that in a self-defense situation. If I'm going to kick in a self-defense situation, okay, right now I'm wearing my boots. I'm going to kick him right there. We did a whole video on it. I'm going to take that boot heel, I'm going to kick him right there.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm not going to gamble on something that might or might not
That's
work.
exactly right, because some people are just tough. I mean, that might be a solid hard kick. It might not do anything though.
Well,
why would I risk it when I snap your kneecap?
Right. I mean, even if you watch the UFC,
Yeah.
okay, these guys are top tier athletes, so I know they're kicking a lot harder than I'm kicking.
Oh yeah.
And yet, how many kicks does it take before the opponent is down? Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's something I've heard people say. Oh, you can shin kick them in the thigh in a self-defense situation. Maybe. I'm not gambling it when I can go a little bit further down and fold it sideways.
Right. Or even, again,
even just
forward strike.
Karate, don't kick above the waist. I mean, we do taekwondo or muay thai. We kick all over. I subscribe to that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Well,
or anywhere.
Yeah. What I was taught was if I can say, for example, if I can kick with 100 pounds of force here, I can get 200 to 300 pounds force
That's
here.
exactly right.
So that's why that's what I was explaining.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly.
It's like kicking the calf. I was goofing with him one night, and I come in and I kick the back of his calf. Tell him what you told me that night.
Separated the meats.
It
hurts.
dropped him. It just he screamed and dropped and done, and I laughed because I've had it done to me. I know how it hurts.
It's weird. It separates the meats, and we might not trying to sound counterintuitive or counterproductive or whatever. But we just said that was with everything going perfect. We stood there, like, kick me. I'm curious, I mean, kicked all
for
over.
science.
For science, yeah, I've been kicked all over, but I'm curious here, and here, kick, and it worked. It worked, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying that techniques don't work. I'm not saying that.
No.
They wouldn't use them if they don't work.
Yeah, but a drunk or a high guy, or just ready to fight, they're not going to stand here. All right, kick me right here.
Yeah, well, yeah. But if you've never conditioned and trained yourself for it, there's a lot of fine details involved in the kick. You have like hip rotation. That's a big thing, and a lot of people, they've never been shown, they've never been taught. They don't know. Just because you've seen it done doesn't mean you know how to do rear naked choke or guillotine. Guillotine's a good one.
Yeah.
I had a guy. We was just conversing, and this was a long time ago, and his go-to, I'll put him in a guillotine. I'll put him in a guillotine. I'll put him in a guillotine. Here's my response to this. So if you'll come over on this side so they can see. All right, no, turn around. Not rear naked guillotine.
Oh.
And so you put me in a guillotine. And so he did. And I said, okay, well, if you know what you're doing, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna monkey hook, right? See, I'm monkey hook. That's basic stuff. I've got over a year in jiu-jitsu. This was one of the first things I was taught. I said, but just saying, what if the dude panics and gets a mouthful of your sides, or gets a handful? And the guy was confused. I said, in UFC, they don't do that because there are rules that prevent that.
Exactly right.
Does the technique work? 100%. Will the technique work on the street? 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a purple belt in jiu-jitsu? No, I've never taken jiu-jitsu, but I watched it. You're gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
you're gonna get hurt.
And
I know I'm probably, like I said, I'm probably pissing a lot of people off, but the reality is, I'd rather you live the rest of your life mad at me than to be my friend and walk out here and knowingly get you killed because you think you are something that you're not.
Yep.
I don't think I'm anything. I will do everything in my power to avoid a confrontation. I'm too old and too slow and beat down and broke down. I'm not.
I just don't like jail. I just don't like jail.
I don't care for fighting. I don't care for violence. I never have. You know, a lot of my fighting, if you will, was done in a ring. I had a friend of mine that was a professional, semi-pro, and I was his training partner. And so we fought a lot. And of course, sparring, you get your bell rung.
Oh, yeah.
We had a whole crew that we did that, and we was down there fighting all the time. And then, of course, in police officers, but a lot of people don't understand this about police. Police don't get paid to fight; they get paid to arrest.
Never people say, "Where are you 2, 3, 4? If you only one guy, I'm here to take you to jail, not fight you."
I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to go to jail.
Yeah.
So it's a different mindset altogether. But my point's still the same. The reality is, if you've never pressure tested, if you've never been taught, just because you've seen it on television or you've watched a YouTube video, we make our videos about Battlerat and all this stuff because it's a passion and we love it. And we've been doing this for years, long before we ever started doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And we're trying to get people excited about Battlerat and excited about the whole lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, and exercising and bettering yourself. But this is not a how-to manual. You can train, learn Battlerat and be a black belt in 5 easy steps kind of deal.
Exactly.
There's a very real responsibility that comes with it, and if you're not humble and you're not careful, somebody's going to humble you.
Because there's always a bigger dog.
Always.
I'm sorry, always.
Always. I mean, I'm the senior instructor, and he's the senior instructor, but I've got an instructor. He shows up, it's yes, sir, and I do what he says.
Yeah, 65, 66-year-old. I ain't fighting him.
No.
No.
In a way. Why? Because he's forgotten more than I ever knew. There's
his
always
words,
a bigger dog in the fight.
Yeah, in his words, I've known 50 years, son. I ought to be good. Yes, sir, you are. Ooh.
Yeah, there it is. So, anyway, it's just an exercise of caution. Be careful, guys. Don't make assumptions. If you've not been trained, if you've never even just got in a ring and sparred with somebody, don't assume you can do it.
Yeah.
There's a funny video of a guy. He decides him and some other guy are going to have at it. And he comes and does a flying side kick. Looks great. Totally screwed up. Missed the guy. Fell. Hit his head on the ground. Knocked himself out. Should have never done it.
Nope.
Should have never done it. But if you're trained and you know what you're doing, hey, go for broke. So
yeah, if you can do it, I mean, I'm not putting a feather in her head. We can do it.
Yeah, but I'm not
done
gonna.
it before, but I'm not gonna.
No.
Like I said, I'm not kicking above the waist. I'll kick you in the head down there.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying.
You wouldn't do that.
No, I'd never do that. No, never. I'd never take a plug at you either with my teeth.
No. Ignore him. Anyway, just my humble opinion, guys. I mean, like it, love it, lump it, or whatever. I can't help it. This is how I feel. Be careful, be cautious, and for God's sakes, don't go out looking for trouble. Do everything in your power to stay away from trouble, and you don't have to worry about it. But, if you want to learn this stuff, I recommend you find a reputable school and go to it and learn it.
Because something that you miss on videos, I may be teaching you how to throw a single punch or a kick. There are 15 small details in that technique.
Oh, 1,000%.
That makes it perfect.
1,000%.
And if you watch the last video, I said you're not going to remember every 50-step technique or whatever. That's something completely different.
Yeah. He's talking about muscle memory. He's talking about like that right at the last moment. That's when your rotation occurs. That's when you tend to. It's that little
twisting
stuff.
off that,
right,
twisting here, twisting here.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that's where you need an instructor that knows what he's doing.
Exactly. That's what's going to. You need someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It is what it is. I strongly recommend everybody get into martial art. I don't care what kind it is. I really don't. I don't care if it's judo, jiu-jitsu, aikido, taekwondo, muay thai, boxing. I don't care. I think it's great for everybody to do because it shows you how you're actually capable of doing a lot more than you thought. But if you live in our area and you know who we are, I'm going to highly recommend you come learn black stick batter at.
Yeah, come on.
We have fun. We have fun.
We're not plugging ourselves or anything.
No, not at all. This is not a commercial. No, but seriously, if you get in this world, you'll find it's a brotherhood.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a community. And you'll find that the fighting part of it, if it's a good school, that's a minuscule part of it.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, I can remember coming up through the ranks when I was younger, back in the 90s. You know, we had a group of us, and if you saw one, you saw the other. And it was not like in Karate Kid and Cobra Kai or anything like that. It's just, you know, we lived in a small town.
Yeah, you're a bunch of friends doing the same thing.
We was all friends, and we all went and started doing this at the same time.
It's camaraderie.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. So, but anyway, just be careful, guys.
Seriously.
The last thing you need to do in a self-defense situation is hurt yourself. You know, kick somebody and break your own leg.
Yeah, that's...
now you've just done it. So, anyway, all right. You got anything else?
Nope.
Nope.
Catch you guys next time.